everybody! This is going to be one of the biggest projects I've done. I have done a bed sheet, twin size, and I have done a tablecloth, probably, I want to say 6 to 8 feet long. I can't really remember exactly. But they were all one layer, so it wasn't that hard to fold. This one, however, it's a request from my mother-in-law. She had ordered a all cotton comforter cover. This is one of those ones that is open along the one side. You slide your comforter in, and then you can either zip or button it closed. This one buttons. And then it just is like a new sheet for your comforter, I guess is what I want to say. At any rate, it was also queen size. So I have 2 layers and a huge amount to do, and I apologize for the visuals here in the folding stage, because if I was to get the entire thing, my phone, which I use for my recording purposes, would be literally on the ceiling, and I probably still would not get it all. So I am sorry for that, but anyway, I went ahead and folded it in half and then folded it in half again. So I had a nice square, but that is 8 layers. And then I went ahead and took the corners and folded them again. So now I have 16 layers. So this is very, very thick. I just want you to understand this is really, really thick. There is a lot that I'm working with here, and I didn't double check on the camera, so you're not going to see the corner point, which would be the center of it, and I am sorry for that. But this is going to be a mandala style fold. As I was folding this, I was running colors through my head. She likes the bright colors, she likes purples, she likes blues, she likes greens. So I had those colors going through my head. I think that if I was to do this again, I probably would have gone further up with the mandala part tying. But I wasn't sure how well this is going to go, because like I said, this is really heavy, this is really thick. Like when this came out of the washer, just spun dry after I had it soaking in the soda ash, which I think I left it in the soda ash for probably an hour. And like every 10 minutes I was like poking it and moving it around just to make sure that everything got soaked, because I had it in a 5-gallon bucket. I probably should have poured the soda ash water into a larger tote and done it that way, but I wasn't thinking at the time. But yeah, so it's very heavy, it's very thick, it's all cotton. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. We're just gonna say that it was a lot. So I'm using the sinew because I do want to try and keep nice crisp lines. The folds were probably, I'm going to say, 1 inch wide, because again, this is 16 layers, if not more. I'm pretty sure it's 16 layers thick. So as you can see, it's not the easiest to pinch and fold. It took a while. This video is going to be a lot longer, I think, than anything else that I've produced. But hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully you like it. As frustrating as these bigger ones are, they are still pretty fun. They're pretty cool, and I like, opening them up to see what they look like. I always think that's cool. So yeah, just pretty much folding along the lines that I had put in. They were kind of like a ziggy-zag. going up. As you can see, it's very difficult to fold. A lot of times I was pushing up from underneath on the bottom to make sure that bottom layer got pinched into the fold. Pulling as tightly as possible. I just like zipped that right underneath. Kind of mesmerizing. But that's me. So anyway, when this video comes out, I think I have a couple day gap in between this one and my last video. And I still have yet to work on the next video that I'm thinking about in my head. But as of, let me think, Wednesday, Tuesday? I don't know. I think it was Tuesday. It might have been Wednesday. I don't know. The kids aren't in school. All the days blend in together. I don't know what day it is anymore. Unless it's Sunday. Because that's the start of the week, and usually I get a message from my mom saying, hey, after church. So then I know it's Sunday. But anyway, due to a wonderful, wonderful gift from one of our video game buddies, yes, I am a gamer. My husband's a gamer. We're a family of gamers. My husband streams on Twitch. And for those of you that don't know what Twitch is, Twitch was created several years ago by kind of the gaming community. Originally, it was a platform to do live sharing for gamers. And it was set up kind of pretty much not to show off your skills as much as more of a live streaming, asking in real time how to get through certain games and stuff like that. But since then, Twitch has blown up exponentially. You will still find your gamers there. But now it's also used as a platform for people doing charity events, game skills, tutorials. There's just chatting, there's ASMR, there's some other categories that I don't agree with, and honestly they should be on just fans only. We're not going to get into that. Anyway, my husband is a gamer. He has his own Twitch channel, and one of our gaming buddies gave us some money so I could go ahead and launch a website. So now I do have a website. I have my tie-dye t-shirts on there right now. I also do resin, which I'm in the process of some videos for some of that too. And so my resin stuff will be listed on there. I do have a few custom order forms, I guess, is what you want to call them, for tie-dye and some of the resin skulls that I make. Oh, back to the video. I'm making a heart in the corner because I didn't want to do a scrunch all the way around. I wanted to break it up a little bit, so those are some hearts that I'm putting in the corners. Anyway, so yes, I now have a website. I am official. I am an official person, and I did the website all myself because we don't have money to be paying like $2,000 to people to put websites together. And yes, there are, you know, options on a lot of websites, or website builders, I want to say, for, you know, hey, pay us $300, we'll have someone set it up. I like having control. I like controlling things. I'm not a total type A. There's a lot of things out of my control, and I understand that. You have kids and you manage to stay in a total type A personality for the entire time you have children. God bless you. I pick my battles. I pick my battle. But I like having control, and I figured I probably ought to learn this anyway, because if something happens, then I need to know how to fix it. So 8 days it took me from starting it and building it and loading things into the shop part for the cameras. And then I think I spent a day just looking at videos and setting up the payment part. That was so much fun. And then I spent probably 2 or 3 days just researching shipping issues. Like, shipping is not easy. It's really not. And I would rather, you know, just not do shipping and have everything be free shipping, but at the same time, I feel like I would have to increase my prices on my items. And it would be hard to counterbalance that and justify it with some of the shipping, because some of the shipping would be closer versus, you know, other side of the country. So I may change it and just increase prices just to allow for shipping. I don't know yet. I'm still new to all of this. At any rate, my phone's going off. I am not shipping outside of the US. I am based in the United States. I am based in Pennsylvania of the United States. And I do not feel comfortable shipping outside of the US at this point in time. That is going to change probably in the future. I just haven't done enough research for me to feel comfortable in doing that, which it is what it is. Eventually I'll get there. So I do have a website. It has been started. I do have stuff on there. I will be adding my jewelry, some of my jewelry in there, but I need a better camera. My phone just is not doing the colors justice and the close-ups justice. Like this kind of stuff, when you're further away and it's not necessary to see like every wrinkle of the fabric, it's fine. But to take pictures of like details, it's just, they're just not what I really want. So gonna be saving up for a camera. If anybody wants to do any donations to that, let me know. I'll take them. So yeah, it is sunsetvisioncrafts.com. I am on there. I do have links, I believe, on my Facebook page. There should be a link here on YouTube at this point when this video comes out. I have not attached the link to my Instagram or my TikTok yet, but I haven't done too much with Instagram and TikTok. I need to probably do more for advertisement purposes, but not yet. So yeah, I'll be putting a link to the new website in the description down below. So if you want to check it out, feel free. I like visitors. I hope you guys like it. And if you have any suggestions, comments, or, you know, just like, I don't like that, let me know. Comment here on this video, or there is a comment section that you can go ahead and send me direct. It'll go directly into my email, and just let me know how you feel. Like, I love suggestions. Like I said before, I mean, you can't know what you're doing wrong unless someone tells you, and then you can't fix it until somebody tells you. So back to the video. Alright, this is kind of sped up a little bit because this did take a very long time in folding. At first I was going to do folds, and then I was like, I don't know. So then I tried to do a swirl type deal, and I don't know what I was thinking. I'll be honest, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know if I was going to go for some kind of detail or what, but most of it is just pretty much scrunched. It's very thick, like I said, and at this point in time, like, my layers are not as nicely stacked as what it was for the parts that I tied. The rubber bands on there is basically just to try and keep it in place for the moment as I get all this scrunched up. I do switch to the sinew. I would have probably preferred to use something like kite string or a thick cotton thread, just because it would have been easier to use, but I didn't have that. I need to order some. So I'm just going to use my sinew. I'm pulling it fairly tight. Due to the fact that it is super thick, I know it's going to be sitting longer than my typical 48 hours. At this point in time, I was aiming for a 4-day soak or batching with the dye, just to make sure that it did absorb as much as possible into it. But at the same time, I still wanted varying degrees of color and have some of those little white specks going through. So that's the reason why I'm doing it fairly tight with the sinew. Which it does turn out. It does turn out very nice. And it was not the easiest. So I tried to put in a few like little swirly designs just to see if some of that would come through. I'm just basically just wrapping her up. And I'm out of sinew. Well, I'm out of sinew on my dowel rod anyway. I still have plenty of sinew on a roll. So initially I was going to put this on a tote and have a grate underneath it so it wouldn't be soaking in anything that dripped out, but I did not have a tote big enough. So I'm going to do what any good country girl does. We improvise. So I took one of my big contractor bags, you know, the big 30-gallon bags, cut it in half, covered my table, and put 2 of my graced / cookie cooling racks. I can't ever remember what they're called. Underneath, and went ahead and started soaking. So I am using, let me think. I'm using my reds, my fuchsias, turquoise, purple, I think, and greens. This here part is the mandala, so it's going to be like the center. And I'm trying to soak down everything as much as possible. I'm curious to know what an ice dye would do. If it would soak easier, nicelier. I don't know what words would really be. But at the same time, I'm not sure if it would soak down enough. Because with an ice dye, you put your powder on And you can either do this with the pre-soak of the soda ash, or some people just put the powder on and then sprinkle soda ash on top. And then you put ice on it and you just let it melt. But my thing is, with it being as thick as it was, yes, it'd be cool to try it out. But this way, with using the liquid dyes, I can actually flip it over and dye it on the other side. Oh, I did throw some black in there. I think that's black. Anyway, and with it being as thick as it was, I wanted to make sure I had good, solid, even coverage as much as possible. So I do want to try this again with an ice dye. But it may be a while before I get another big queen size comforter cover. Yeah, it's probably going to be a while. But I've got my reds and my fuchsia and my blues and my turquoise in the center. And then I was going with my purples and greens and some blue on the outside. But the outside's going to be more of a scrunch effect. It's not going to be really a pattern effect. It's the frame for around the picture. And I soaked this sucker down. Like, I soaked it. Trying to get in between the cracks and just make sure it goes down as far as possible. And I thought about it, and I decided what I was going to do actually was to let this sit for an hour as is before I flip it, just because I wanted it to soak down towards the middle as much as possible. So after I get this all done, like, I pretty much went over every color 2 or 3 times before I left it. And then after an hour, I went ahead and flipped it over. And you can see around the edges, a lot of it soaked down and around, which is good. But I can't see any of it coming through the center, so none of it soaked all the way through along in the center areas, which is fine. So I'm just going to re-soak everything using the same colors on the opposite side, just like I would a normal tie-dye. Making lots of puddles so it can soak in. And it was like right when I went to go and flip it over that I realized that I was completely out of turquoise. And I didn't feel like mixing anymore. Why? I don't know why. So what I ended up doing was just taking some of the medium blue and just watering it down into a lighter blue, which turned out really nice, honestly. It blended in really well, but as you'll see like a little bit further on, I do go back over the blue areas again, but it's darker this time. I added a little bit more of that medium blue, because the light blue, yeah, it looked cool, but it wasn't quite as matching to the turquoise in darkness, I guess, depth, color depth as I wanted. So I definitely wanted to darken it up a little bit more to be a little bit of a closer match. So I will go back through with the blue again, but just a little bit darker so it's not as pale, because like as you can see on the screen right now, I mean it's pretty pale compared to the turquoise, which I think would have turned out pretty cool, but at the same time I definitely wanted to make sure that it was a little bit darker. Like here you can see that it's slightly darker. But again, I'm just soaking this down as much as possible because I want to try and get as much soaked in towards the center as possible because this is very, very thick. Here's my darker color. My darker blue. It matches a little bit better. I pretty much used a bottle of color on each side. So, yes, this says 48 hours. No, it wasn't 48 hours. My initial intentions was 4 days. So, that'd be, I can't do math at the moment. That'd be a lot longer than 48 hours. It actually ended up sitting for like 6 days. Because at the end of my 4 days, I had 2 days of a very hectic schedule, so I never got around to doing it, and I knew this was going to take a very long time. This did not, it did not go very well. It was in the shower under cold water for probably, I'm gonna say a total of 2.5 hours, maybe 3, before I decided to switch it to the warmer water. The color just kept coming out and coming out and coming out. So I know I soaked it well. But, yeah, between squeezing and soaking and rinsing, it was taking a while. And at this point in time, after 3 hours, and it was getting to be like midnight, I was getting kind of tired. But I wanted to make sure this got into the washer before I went to bed. So here I am cutting off the sinew so I can open it up a little bit and get a little bit more rinsed out. This took a long time. I put a lot of sinew on it. I was thinking it was going to undo a little quicker. It was definitely tight, hence the reason I'm using scissors very carefully to cut it all off. And you can tell how tedious this is, and it's sped up. And I have a small bathroom. I don't have a big bathroom. I have a small bathroom. So, between doing all this, I was kind of paranoid I was going to knock it into the tripod and have my camera go flying. But I didn't. So. Alright, so I got all the sinew off. And at this point in time, I'm going to start to unravel it a little bit. Just to open it up, and you can see the white from where the sinew was tied, which I was happy about. We're looking good. It looks like it has soaked through very well. I was very happy. So you can't see it, but the water is running, and it actually kept smacking me in the face as I was leaning towards the stream. But yeah, it took very well. It soaked through very well. I was really happy. My heart's, yeah, kind of. But so far so good. And I did get my little white lines like I wanted in the mandala part. And then after sitting there for another 30 minutes rinsing under the warm water, I decided my hands hurt enough that I was just going to soak. So what I did is I got a tub, put it in the shower, threw the comforter cover in the shower. It's like warmish, hotish water in there. And I put a little bit of Dawn dish soap. Dawn works really well at getting out a lot of the color, like you can see. And this is after probably collectively 4.5 to 5 hours of being underwater rinsing. So this I actually did twice. I had it soaking twice before I washed it. Went ahead and dried it. And it was huge. So you're going to get a little cameo appearance of my sons. It's my oldest and my next in line out of the twins, because they are my tallest. And they actually had some poles that they had up. So it's kind of like holding a flag. But yeah, So it turned out really cool. It looks a lot like a quilt. I like it. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. I definitely want to try and do this again. And hopefully the next time I do it, I could probably put it on my website. That would be pretty cool. So, but yeah, let me know what you think. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, share, follow whatever platform you're seeing this on, because I do appreciate it all. And thank you all for the support. And we will see you again.